Are you on a fitness journey this year and are craving something sweet, maybe some brownies or maybe even some cheesecake? Well, if so, then you're in the right place because in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 of my go-to no-bake sweet treat snack/dessert that I make to help me to lose my belly fat. Now, if you've been watching the channel, then you know I just completed my 8-week winter arc journey. If you are new here, hello. This is the Third Quarter Living with Belinda J, where I've been sharing the way that I've been navigating this perimenopausal stage that I entered last year to try and get rid of all of this excess belly fat that just came, it seems like overnight, like a busted can of biscuits. But anywho, that's where we are. I am continuing on my journey. Just because the 8 weeks are over, I'm still going because I want to be fine by summertime. So I guess the theme this year will be New Year, New Me, or New Year, New You, whatever. I'm here to share with you today 3 of my go-to desserts, and let me show you what they are. The very first one is some delicious high protein balls. I usually pack these and, when I'm going on errands or something like that and I need a quick snack and I'm out and about and I don't want to stop at a fast food restaurant, these make a great snack. The second one is some cheesecake. Oh my God, do you see that? Do you see that? That is a high protein cheesecake cup. And yes, it does have a crust. Now, like I said, all of these are about 250 calories or less, about 15 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbs. I don't really count carbs because I am on a fat loss journey and all the carbs that are in these sweet treats, dessert snacks are good carbs, meaning that they came from a natural source. And here we have a no-bake brownie. Look at that, a no-bake brownie. So enough of the pleasantries, let's get into it. And I'm going to show you how to make all 3 of these. So the very first dessert/snack that I'm going to be making is a chocolate chip protein ball. Now, first I'm going to show you all of the required ingredients, and then I'm going to show you the optional ingredients that I'll be adding some of these in here as well. So the first thing that you're going to need is to choose your protein powder of choice. I have some vegan protein powder here. It's the salted caramel. I do have a vanilla. You're going to need some oats. I'm having some ultra filtered high protein milk from Fairlife. If you don't want to use the Fairlife milk or any other kind of nut milk, you can always add water because it doesn't take that much water anyway. And then just your nut butters of choice. You could choose between peanut butter, or I have an almond butter, or you can do half and half. And then just some chocolate chips. So these are just some dark chocolate chips. Now, the optional ingredients, to add a little bit more protein, you can have some chia seeds. I have flax seeds here. You could put in a scoop or 2 of collagen. I do have some nuts here. I always just go with the sweetness of the protein powder, but if you wanted to add a little bit more sweetness, you could use some pure honey or sugar substitute like stevia. So those are the basic ingredients. So let's just get to making the protein balls. For the required ingredients, I have a cup of oatmeal, 1 scoop of the salted caramel protein powder, and that's just a scoop that came in the container. And then I have a scoop of the vanilla. And the last required ingredient is going to be the peanut butter. I did a combination of the almond butter and the peanut butter. And then just the recipe called, I usually kind of put in 1/4 a cup of chocolate chips, but I'm going to go a little bit light today. So these are all of the required ingredients. So I'm going to add a scoop of collagen. And then a tablespoon of my flaxseed. Maybe do 2 tablespoons because I like flaxseed and it's good in fiber. Then a tablespoon of chia seeds. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. And then I'll finish off with just 2 tablespoons of my pecan pieces. And that's it. We're going to add maybe a tablespoon of, you could do water or milk, and then we're just going to form it into a dough and make some balls. It's always good to have something that's no bake because, you know, you can just put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes and then it's ready to be eaten. Now, if you see that like mine, it's still kind of dry, you may want to add a little bit more milk or a little bit more water, a little bit more nut butters. It's totally up to you. I'm probably going to stir it up just a little bit more and then make about 6 balls. I'm going to pour a little bit more milk and then probably a little bit of water and then see if I can't get it to thicken up just a bit and start making my balls. You can see now that it is starting to sort of form like a dough, probably because I added all the extra flaxseed and the chia seeds, and sometimes I'll add all of that in and sometimes I don't. I typically don't make a batch this large. Sometimes I'll make a smaller batch because it's just really me eating all of these kind of desserts. But as you can see, it's getting thick, and that's what you want. So it's going to make it very easy to just form your balls. And that's what I'm going to do, just like that. And voila, here you have it, your no-bake, high-protein snack/dessert balls, however you want to call it. They're ready to eat in about 30 minutes, or sometimes I'll have it as another snack treat dessert idea with Greek yogurt. This Greek yogurt is 17 grams of protein. So that's it for the very first snack/dessert no-bake, high-protein idea. On to the next. So the second no-bake, high-protein snack/dessert that I'm going to be making is going to be a Greek yogurt berry cheesecake cup kind of dessert. So of course you're going to need some Greek yogurt. You saw this was a very high-protein Greek yogurt. Then you're going to need some cream cheese. This one is whipped because if you have the block-style cream cheese, you need to let it sit out so that it can be softened. I am going to be adding a little bit of this lemon lime zest and juice that I have in this cup. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of chia seeds. As you can see, I love a chia seed. I'll top it off with these raspberries for sweetener. I'm going to be using probably the stevia, but I just want to show you could also use pure honey if you have honey or some kind of maple syrup. Now for the crust, you know our cheesecake definitely has a crust. You could either use crushed graham crackers if that's what you prefer, but I'm gluten intolerant and I'm going for a lower carb for mine. So I'm going to be making my own crust with this almond meal. I'm going to add in probably a tablespoon of flax seeds, a little bit more of these pecan pieces, and then I'm just going to mix all that up with this Irish butter as my crust. So I'm going to do that first, put it inside the cups, and then we'll come back and mix everything else up. So for my crust, I'm taking a 1/3 cup of the almond meal. I'm just going to do a heavy tablespoon of my flax seeds, followed up by a tablespoon of my pecan pieces, maybe 2. And then I'll mix in, this is probably about 2, maybe 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And we'll just kind of mix that up. And then I'll just line the bottom of my cups with this mixture. So here is my crust mixture. I place it in this little tin. Of course, remember this is no bake, but it just made it easier for me to kind of put the cups in here and then press them down. I know you're probably thinking, well, all those ingredients that you mentioned, the almond meal, the flaxseed, and the pecans and butter, it's really not sweet. I've kind of probably, I can't even remember years ago how I kind of got off the sugar train. But if you want to make this a little bit sweeter, then feel free to add a tablespoon of stevia, brown sugar, whatever you think is best for you. But I don't need a lot of sugar. I can really taste the flavor of the ingredients without sugar. But adding 1 tablespoon, I guess, of brown sugar or honey or something like that would probably help if you're not quite rid of your sweet tooth yet. But so you can see this little almond meal makes a really nice little bottom crust for our cheesecake. So what do you think? Good, huh? On to the ingredients for the inside. Okay, now for the cheesecake ingredients, we need a cup of the Greek yogurt. Ideally, you want it to be a high protein, plain Greek yogurt. And then we have a 1/2 cup of the cream cheese softened. Well, this one is whipped, so it's already softened. Now, I want mine to have a little lemon lime zest to it, so I'm going to add that as well as a little bit of the chia seeds. So I'll just pour some of that. It's probably about, so it's going to be sort of like a key lime kind of cheesecake, but not really. And then, of course, I said I really love my chia seeds. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon. That's about a tablespoon. And then honey sometimes makes my stomach hurt. So I'm going to use this stevia. And I'm only going to use probably about 2, I think stevia is a 1-to-1. So I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of that. And we're just going to mix that up. And this is going to be our ingredients. Now, for a little bit more protein, you could add a scoop of collagen as well. Collagen, you can't really taste it. Now, once I scoop this into my cups that I've already made, I'll sit it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. And then we'll see what it looks like. So I'm going to add it in here. I hope I don't make too big of a mess. But yeah, in the comments below, I would love to hear about what your go-to snacks, sweet treats are. Hey, this journey is all about sticking together and beating perimenopausal ass, right? So this recipe makes 6 cups. So there you have it. In the fridge for about 2 hours. Coming up next is our brownies. Our third and final no-bake, high-protein snack / dessert is going to be a protein brownie. Now, there's only a couple of required ingredients, but I do have some extras here. You know I like to throw in a little bit of extra, but the only required ingredient for this brownie recipe is going to be to have a chocolate protein powder. I have this chocolate peanut butter protein powder that I get from Sprouts. And almond meal, if you don't have almond meal, you can substitute the almond meal for oatmeal. But since I made the protein bites with oatmeal, I just thought I'd switch things up and go ahead and use the almond meal. We do have some cocoa powder. I have my friendly almond butter back. Now, you can also use peanut butter if you'd like. But this time, I'm going to add in some powdered peanut butter. When you substitute the powdered peanut butter over the regular peanut butter, you can have more of this powder, and it's going to be less calories, less fat, things of that nature. You can add in 1 to 2 tablespoons of almond milk. I'm going to be using my Fairlife protein milk. If you want nuts inside, I have walnuts that I'm going to add inside and on the topping. And optional is my favorite, chia seeds. If you want to add a little bit of collagen in there. And then, of course, our friendly cinnamon. So that's going to make up the brownies. So let's just get to the mixing. For the protein brownies, we're going to be using a half a cup of almond flour and 2 scoops. And the scoop that I'm using for this peanut butter protein powder is the scoop that came in it. So I'm just going to be using 2 scoops of this peanut butter chocolate protein powder. Then I'm going to add a scoop, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons of the peanut butter powder. I like a little bit more peanut butter flavor. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of my chia seeds. This is 1/4 of a cup of the almond butter. And I get all of my ingredients at Aldi, except for the protein powder. I will usually get it either online or at another local store. Just a couple of dashes of cinnamon. I like cinnamons in my brownie. And it's going to be a tablespoon of cocoa powder. Usually when you're making brownies, well, maybe I'll do 2. Most recipes will call for 1/4 of a cup, but I don't want that much, but it's your brownie, so you do you. And then I'm just going to add in not brownies, handful of walnuts on the inside. And like I said to you before, I just love adding collagen to all of these recipes because it adds a little bit more protein and is unflavored. So next and last is I'm going to just add about 2 tablespoons of this Fairlife milk, or you can use almond milk or water. And we're going to mix it up, and I may need to add a little bit more, or I may need to just add some water. So what we're hoping for when we mix all this up is sort of a dough. So now it's starting to form a dough, and I've kind of gotten my hands in here. And since my daughter's probably going to be eating some of this, I added a few extra optional chocolate chips. So I'm just going to continue to form this dough and make sure it rolls out really pretty and put it in a container, and then it'll be ready to go in the fridge. So I'm just going to keep kneading until it gets the right consistency that I need. So as you can see, I've kneaded it into sort of like a little block because we want to be able to cut it into slices, and then we can put it in our Greek yogurt. And once again, isn't it great that you can make some no-bake? No whole lot of cooking time. It just needs 1 to 2 hours to set. There it is. I'm going to top it with some nuts, and she's going to be ready to go in the fridge. So what do y'all think? Comment below and let me know which one you're going to be trying. Yeah, real pretty. Well, there you have it. 3 easy peasy, high protein, no bake, sweet treat recipes. And I hope that you try them out. If you have a go-to high protein, no bake recipe, then drop me a link to it in the comments below. I'd love to try it out because I need every recipe I can get to continue to help me to lose this belly fat. If you found this video to be informative, enlightening, helpful, whatever, or you just want to follow along with my journey, definitely consider giving me a subscribe. And until next time, get up, get going, and get there. Have a good week. See ya.